So how do you film cinematic vlogs by yourself? Let me show you. So over the years, if I wanted to film a cinematic video, I would have to bring a full-on mirrorless camera with a super big and bulky lens on the end of it and a full-on tripod just to get anything that resembles cinematic in any way. But now what's wild is these really tiny portable cameras, even as something as simple as the Insta360 Luna Ultra, which is what I'm using for this entire video today, can produce incredible cinematic results. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to film cinematic vlogs by yourself in 5 easy steps. All right, so the first thing we've got to do is start thinking in scenes instead of just random shots. And one of the biggest mistakes beginners make when they start vlogging is they start just filming a bunch of random clips that are maybe kind of fun and even might look really beautiful and cinematic. But the issue is you're not really thinking about how those shots are going to relate to each other to create sequences inside of your edit. For reference, let's watch this sequence of just some random shots that I compiled together. Now, honestly, those shots are really beautiful. The issue is they don't really tell a story. They're just random individual clips that don't really mean anything when you play them back to back. Now, let me show you a few scenes, which are actual sequences of multiple kinds of shots that you can play back together in your timeline to create a story. So you can definitely tell the difference between these sequences. One of them feels intentional, like the shots relate to each other, and the other one feels kind of random. So if I'm trying to make my vlog cinematic, the first thing I will do is ask myself, what are the kinds of scenes or sequences that I'm trying to build inside of my edit, and make sure I get a handful of shots to build a mini story. Now, once you understand the kind of scenes that are going to be in your videos, the next step is to think about coverage. And coverage is really just capturing enough different camera angles and shot composition types to be able to fill out your sequences in your editing timeline. So there are 4 kinds of shots I try to prioritize when I'm out filming to get myself enough coverage for post-production. The first shot type is called the wide shot. And really, wide shots just establish your scene, and it gives the viewer context for where you're even filming in the first place. Wide shots are great for capturing those nice landscape shots. And honestly, for me, wide shots are like one of the most cinematic looking shots you can get if you do it right and set up your camera properly. The second shot type is the medium shot, sometimes called the mid shot. And these kind of add a little bit of extra detail from what a wide shot isn't able to capture. So it fills in the gaps for your story really well. The typical focal length for this is somewhere between like 35 millimeters or 50 or 60 millimeters. Like on the Luna Ultra, there's a 3x zoom telephoto lens, and just having the camera in 3x is like the perfect kind of mid shot right at 60 millimeters. The issue with mid shots though, where it's really easy to capture a ton of these, and then in your edit, you just have a bunch of mid shots to work with, and that's not ideal. You want to have a variety of really wide shots and also some even tighter shots and not just focus only on mids. Now, the third shot type is called a tight shot, and this really zooms in your camera just a little bit more. So maybe this is you physically moving your feet closer to objects to get tighter compositions, or even using zoom. So like the Luna Ultra has 2 cameras. One of the lenses can zoom in pretty tight, up to like 12x zoom digitally to capture those tighter details. And the fourth type of shot I try to get when I'm vlogging are what I call creative sorts of angles. Just different styles of shots that just have a little bit of creative flow or energy to them are really important to capture. This could be kind of pushing your camera through some foregrounds or a doorway where you're actually moving physically with the camera. And what's nice about the Luna Ultra is it's on a gimbal, so you're actually able to move and the camera's going to stay steady to get some really beautiful push-ins or pull-outs. There's also tracking shots, which are cool because the Luna Ultra has built-in AI tracking. I can just click on the screen and tap my face, and now the Luna Ultra is tracking me wherever I go. And to try to get these kinds of shots with a traditional setup like this, with a mirrorless camera and a tripod, would be impossible because I don't have a camera operator with me if I'm filming myself, but the Luna Ultra can do it because it's on a gimbal that swings around left and right and has that built-in AI tracking feature. So if you want your vlogs to look more cinematic, try using these different shot types to get better coverage for your videos. Now let's talk about some gear that's gonna help your videos actually look more cinematic as you rig out your camera in different ways to get better looking shots. And if you notice, we didn't start the video talking about gear because honestly, if you just had a camera like the Luna Ultra or your smartphone even, and you use these principles of getting good coverage and setting up scenes, your videos are gonna look fantastic. But there are some tools that really do help you rig out your camera and position it in new ways to get those cinematic angles. So this first item that I've been using a ton lately is this SmallRig suction cup mount. And it sounds just like what it is. It's a suction cup and it can mount to smooth surfaces. So tables or windows of like your car or your bedroom or your living room, or even like stop signs, street signs, all these things. If it's a flat, smooth surface, it's able to mount directly to this. All you do is you push down on this little lever and it will create suction. And it comes with this little arm on top of it as well that you can mount the Luna Ultra directly to. And this has really been my go-to rigging solution lately. As long as there's a smooth surface around, like it doesn't work super well on really textured surfaces like walls that have like an orange peel texture. They do have like some motorized versions of this that do work with textured walls, but this one in particular, it's really affordable and it's really designed for only smooth surfaces. Now the next thing you absolutely need is a basic tripod, and the Luna Ultra actually has some built-in tripod feet to its base plate and also the extended battery grip if you get that combo kit. Both of those options will have a built-in tripod to it, but they're like really thin. It's like almost like little paper clips. It's not the most sturdy thing. So I would purchase maybe a second mini dedicated tripod. These things are really affordable. There's just a little 1/4-20 thread that you can screw onto the bottom of the Luna Ultra, and now you have a more sturdy base. Another interesting accessory I find myself using pretty often are these super clamps from SmallRig, and they have different clamps and sizes and different styles as well. Sometimes they're called just regular clamps, C clamps, or super clamps. You just gotta take your pick and figure out which one is right for you. But the way I use these is because they're very strong clamps, they can clamp onto really any surface. And then a lot of times they'll come with an articulating arm. And then at the end of that arm, it has a 1/4-20 thread, and you can hook the Luna directly onto that end if you want to. Or you could attach an additional clamp to the end of the articulating arm. And now you have 2 clamps and you can rig your accessories or your cameras in a variety of ways that a regular tripod or just one clamp wouldn't allow you to do. Another thing I use all the time are ND filters, which stand for neutral density. All that is basically a little darkening mechanism, piece of glass that you put in front of your camera lens, and then that blocks out light from hitting your camera sensor so you can shoot at proper settings. So we'll talk about the settings in just a minute, but just know it's really great to have some ND filters on hand at varying intensity levels as well. Like right now, I'm actually filming with an ND64 because it's a very bright sunny day outside today, but sometimes you want a lower ND level like ND16 or ND4. Both of those are pretty common. And the NDs I'm using for this video is a 3-pack from Insta360. I'll link this option in the description below. And honestly, my goal when I'm vlogging is to have as few of accessories as possible that I'm bringing out with me, because first of all, it just makes your bag super heavy. It's just kind of annoying to bring around all those accessories. And then secondly, it reduces decision fatigue and just trying to figure out what are the 17 different ways I could rig up my camera right now. That's kind of annoying to me. I'd rather just have it simple, one tripod or one little suction cup mount with an ND filter, and I'm good to go. Now, the fourth thing you need to know for filming cinematic vlogs are the basic camera settings that are important to change your camera into so you get that cinematic look and feel. And there's just a few that I'm gonna put right here on screen for you so you can kind of screenshot and understand these are my exact camera settings that I use in the Insta360 Luna Ultra to achieve all of the results that you've seen in this video. So the first obviously is resolution, and pretty much all the footage in this video is actually only 4K resolution, even though the Luna Ultra can shoot in 8K resolution. Oftentimes it's just a little bit too much resolution for most people. So I didn't want to shoot the whole thing in 8K because especially if you don't have a computer that's capable of editing 8K footage, it really slows down your system. So 4K is fine for most people, but you can choose 8K in the Luna Ultra if you would prefer that higher resolution. Now for frame rate, this is the amount of frames your camera is recording every second. And kind of the standard rule of thumb is if you want cinematic looking footage, choose 24 frames per second. And then if you're in a country that has 25 frames per second as the standard, you would choose 25. This next setting might be the most important for getting cinematic footage, which is shutter speed. You always want your shutter speed, if possible, to be double whatever your frame rate is that you're shooting. So if I'm shooting in 24 frames per second, my shutter speed would need to be set to 1/50, and that's a proper shutter speed for recording videos. And this is where ND filters come in, because a lot of times if you're shooting at 1/50th of a second shutter speed, your image will look too bright. That's where you add an ND filter to the front of your camera lens to reduce the amount of light hitting your camera sensor so you can shoot at those proper shutter speeds. Next would be white balance, and I almost always just set my white balance to 5600 Kelvin so it's not shifting around in my image. If I'm outdoors, that'll give me a really nice natural look, and if I'm indoors, most of my studio lighting is actually set to daylight temperature at 5600 Kelvin. Now sometimes if I'm wanting to preserve more detail in my highlight information, I will set my exposure compensation to -0.3. That will just reduce my overall exposure by about 1/3 of a stop of light to better preserve that highlight information. And then for my color mode for the Luna Ultra, I chose iLog. Now, if you're not familiar with color grading, maybe this will be kind of overwhelming, but if you are comfortable dipping your toes in the water of color grading, iLog is a really cool way to shoot in a very flat picture profile that retains the most highlight information and color information so that you can correct your footage in post-production and just have the most info to work with. So literally all of the footage you've seen today was shot in the iLog color profile, and then I manually color corrected that inside of Premiere. So these really are the most important camera settings if you want to maximize the image quality out of the Luna Ultra. Now the fifth and final step is to simply just experiment. So all of the tips that I've given you about coverage and building scenes and sequences and using ND filters, all of that is great, but ultimately it comes down to you actually getting out there and experimenting and trying to find creative angles to make your videos feel cinematic. The easiest place to start is to just figure out some day-to-day activities that you do on a typical basis. Maybe it's cooking breakfast in the morning or going to a coffee shop to order a coffee, going for a walk with your dog. All of these things can actually be filmed in beautiful cinematic ways if you just take the time to slow down and think about the activity that you're doing. How could you record that in 3 or 4 brand new angles that just captures that activity in a brand new way, which can really elevate your videos? And you really don't have to worry too much about accessories or all the different settings. Just set up your camera, hit record, and focus on your compositions and make sure you get good coverage. So get a wide shot, a medium shot, and a tight shot, and then experiment maybe with a creative shot or two. And by doing this, you'll instantly be creating more cinematic videos. Now, if you want to see the best way to set up your Insta360 Luna Ultra, you can click or tap the screen right here to watch our Luna Ultra Beginner's Guide. It's a great video, and I'll see you over there.